Let's talk about contingency recruiting. You feel like that cat sometime on the tightrope, trying to balance everything? Contingency recruiting doesn't work today. Contingency was created before the internet. The internet's changed everything and has made contingency recruiting a nightmare. Here I am. I'm Barb Goldman. I created High Touch Recruiting, and I am out to change contingency recruiting forever. I'm tired of it, and I don't look that good all the time either. So take a look at that picture. That's the best you're going to see me. Okay, this is a problem. Contingency relies on secrecy. When you have a contingent job order, you can't advertise. You have to be very stealth. You can't tell the candidates who's recruiting, who you're recruiting for until they're solid. And you have to use blind resumes. You can't just throw resumes at companies. Contingency relies on relationships. And right now, there are no relationships. Relationships are being eroded for recruiters. There's no direct contact with the hiring authority, no real feedback from the hiring authority or from anyone else when you have these interviews. And if you get a feedback, it's usually bogus. And there's a middle person who's monitoring everything and getting in your way. Now, here's another thing. Contingency relies on fast hires. When you're working a contingency job order, time kills. It's always a market that's a right now market. Contingency is a right now market. So as you are out there recruiting, that candidate of yours is cheating on you. Trust me. You're going to lose the candidate if time goes on. And also, not only are you going to lose a candidate, you're going to get scooped by either the company itself or another recruiting firm. Now, this is when contingency worked. Before the internet, when no one knew where the jobs were, when there were no job orders, no job aggregators, no lists of openings all over the place. And also, candidates were invisible. There was no LinkedIn. There was no social media. Where do you find these people? That's when contingency worked. And I'm going to show you, this is just a basic, what it used to be when I started recruiting. Okay, I would call in and say, psst, I know a purple squirrel who is local to your plant. They just moved into town. I thought you'd like to talk to them. What does your schedule look like tomorrow? They'd always come back with, do you have a resume? They have 10 years experience, degreed. Does the engineering stuff you need them to do? Let's just start with a phone call and go from there. And the employer would say, okay, recruiter, what do you need someone like this to do? And this was gathering the job order. Remember, we didn't know there was a job there. We had no idea. We were just guessing. The employer then would describe the job. The recruiter comes back with, I charge a fee if you hire. And the employer says, no problem. We use recruiting firm. The hiring authority had the authority to use you. Now, here's contingency problem number one. This is where everyone knows where all the jobs are. The recruiter calls in. I have a candidate for job number 99870. Are you using recruiters for this one? The employer will say, do you have anyone? Of course, we have 10 years experience, agreed to some of the engineering stuff. And the employer now must say you have to be approved through HR. The recruiter will come back and say, what do you need someone like this to do? The employer's response, look it up on the website. They go to HR, and then HR could decide, who cares? We have a lot of candidates, and go to the vendor's website to get approved, which could take 6 months if they decide. They don't really need you, so you probably aren't going to be approved as a vendor. Contingency problem number two. Recruiter. I submitted Bonnie last week. She's interested. Would you like to set up an interview? HR says, yes, Bonnie's great. We're going to move ahead with her, but she's not your candidate. She was in our database. You've got a database problem. These companies are constantly collecting resumes, and people are out there applying. How do you know that she was in their database? You have no idea. So that's contingency problem number 2. Contingency problem number 3 is stealth. As you may try to be, it's easy to go around you. I've had candidates go around me, and I'm sure you've had candidates go around you. They figure out where the job is, or you tell them, they say, oh, I know those people, I'm going myself. You can't stop them. So the contingency problem number 3 is everyone knows where the jobs are. Even if you have a contingency listing that you're supposed to fill, it's on the website. Everyone knows about it. They're still interviewing it. So it's really easy to go around you. And this is the problem number 4. When it's time for the offer, what are you planning on offering? HR at this point will handle the offer. There you go. They won't let you give the offer. And you say, that's okay. I just want a chance to prepare them. HR says, well, I'll let you know, and then emails the offer. I've had HR people email the offer even when they promised me that they weren't going to do that. And guess what happens? It's very hard to close an offer if you don't prepare the candidate for it, especially in this market. So contingency hell, no control, lack of information about the job, about the interviews, about the real scoop about what's going on in the company. You're in competition with other firms. You're in competition with the company, and you are in competition with yourself. Let's take a look at that. So your client continues to post the opening on the website, but they gave you a job order. They continue to recruit using internal methods, but they gave you a job order. And they advertise on LinkedIn and everywhere else, but they gave you a job order. You're in competition with them. It's like going to Vegas and thinking that you're going to beat the house. Okay. Your competition, other recruiting firms, what if they have 8 recruiters on it, 10 recruiters, 5 recruiters? You don't even know. They probably have so many vendor recruiters that recruiters are constantly looking in to see what they have opened, and then they're already vendored recruiters will work on it. So again, you're in a race to the finish with other recruiting firms. And your competition is yourself. Contingency requires secrecy. There is no secrecy. Everyone knows where everyone is, and everyone knows where the jobs are. Your openings, any other recruiting firm can get them, and the candidates can go around you. You are in competition with yourself when you're out there contingent recruiting. You take a risk. Every job order you write is a risk. What if this company decides not to hire? What if the company hires from within? You know that they're your competition. What if another recruiting firm fills the job? What if a candidate that you talk to goes around you? Stop working for free. About 5 years ago, I decided I will never do this again. I had a career both contingent and retained. And I went to a contingent model because it was fast, it was easy, fast placements. But then over the years, it stopped working. Retained works. I haven't done contingent for 5 years. I will never do that again. But there are also a lot of different ways to get paid. Why do we stick to this fee for hire situation? You're going to decide your service, and it's up to you. You can decide to change your life right now and go retained. And guess what? I help. I have a free meeting on Fridays at noon for recruiters who would like support in going the retained route. So this is free. It's an open meeting. I give you ideas. I'll close your deals for you. I'll do all kinds of things. I've been around a long time, and this is a meeting that is for you. Hopefully, I'll be able to do something great for you in that meeting. and support you for your retained recruiting endeavor. I'll tell you how to do it, what to say. Let's get started. I'm out to change recruiting forever.